going to start by writing the C major scale. And you're going to learn a lot about theory right now. The reason we start with C is that C is the scale that has no sharps and no flats. So C is the easiest scale to play. All other scales have at least one sharp or one flat. Many of them have one. C is the easiest scale to play on the piano because it's all the white keys, no black keys. The first note is called C, and it takes place right here. You add a line below the lowest line, and you put the note underneath it. That is a C. Put that on there. Okay. You then continue by writing every note in the scale after it. So above it is the space. This note is called D. Okay, after the D is the E. It's very obvious what the next one is. It's the F. Then, anybody? G. G is the last note in the alphabet. You start over after G. So next one will be A, followed by B, and ending on C. So let's label them. C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. And like we said, none of them have any sharps or any flats. Okay? Now I'm going to show you how to play them on the piano. And from this actually is enough for you to begin. You play the C note with your thumb. If you look at the back of your paper, it tells you exactly where the C note is. Does everybody see that? It's the one to the left of the two black notes. Does everybody see that? Yeah. Okay. You play the D with your index, and then your middle. Then the F, you go back to your thumb, index, middle, ring for the B, and you finish on your pinky or your thumb if you continue. Okay? Does everybody feel like they understand that? Yeah. We're about to take it to the next level. If I was to say what is the 1 of C, the 1 is the main note. So what would be the 1 of C? C. What would be the 2 of C? D. What would be the 3 of C? E. What would be the 4 of C? What would be the 5 of C? G. Okay, so music works in fifths. You take the 5 of one scale, and you use that to write the next scale. So we're going to write our next scale. Move one line down, we're going to write the G scale. 2, 3. The G scale starts on what note? G. So the G is going to be right here. Of course, the first note is G. This is the G major. Okay? Because you start on the 5 of the previous one. What you're going to do is you're going to use every single note that's the same as C, but what you do is you sharp the second to last note. Does that make sense? You sharp the second to last note. So what we're going to do is we're going to write everything up to G, and then we're going to sharp the second to last note. So what comes after G? A. Then what? B. Then?
C.
Then?
C.
No, this is C. D. E. F. And we're home when we get back to G, right? So I said we'd sharp which note? Second to last. So which is the second to last? F. So what we're going to do is we're going to sharp the F. Now we have the G major scale. So again, it's G, A, B, C, D, E, F sharp, and G. And here's the thing. You use exactly the same fingers as for the C scale. So what do you think I use for my G here? Thumb. Followed by the A, the index, the B, middle, thumb, index,
Middle.
middle, ring, and then pinky or thumb. That's exactly how you do the G scale. And what we have here is an infinitely repeating cycle that is unbelievably brilliant, complex, and mathematical. We're only going to move one more scale along. So, what's the 1 of G?
F.
G. The 1 of G is G.
A.
So, I said we do this in fifths, right? So what's the 5 of G?
E.
Count it up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the next scale is going to be what?
D.
D. And like I said, we're going to use the exact same notes that we use here. We're going to sharp the second to last note. Does this make sense to you? Alright, so we're going to do our D major right here. And you have 6 different lines, right? So for homework, I want you to finish this thing. Okay? We're starting. This is going to be D major. Oops, D major. It's going to start on a D. Now, do I want to start on this D way up here and keep going way too high? Or would I rather start on this D that's down here? The one down here makes more sense, right? Alright, so I'm going to start with this D right here. I'm going to use the same notes as this one. Does that make sense? So after the D, what's my next note?
G.
No, after the D,
E.
E, then what?
F.
F? Not F.
F sharp.
F sharp. I keep the notes from the previous scale. So you see what I'm doing? F sharp. Is everybody clear about that? What's the next note?
G.
G, right? And what comes after the G? A, then B,
C.
C, D. And we're done when we get to D, right? So we sharp the second to last. So what was the second to last note?
C.
C. So we sharp the C. You guys understand how we wrote the scale? You can keep repeating this pattern. You can write every scale there is. Does that make sense to you? Okay? By the way, D scale, exactly the same pattern. So thumb, index, middle, thumb, index, middle, ring, pinky, or thumb. Okay, now what you can do is you can take this exact piece of paper and this exact fingering, and you can figure out how to play these scales. And they're all going to sound like do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. But they'll sound like that in the particular key that they're in. You guys understand what I'm saying to you? Okay, I really encourage you to try this as well as you can on any piano you can get your hands on. We'll get pianos, we'll get working on pianos very soon. So thank you very much.